Hi everyone, it's Ellie here and welcome back to the channel. Today we're just doing a nice little free build in Newcrest. After doing all the base game builds in Willow Creek, I needed to stretch my creative muscles a little bit with some additional features and furnitures. Today's build consisted of 32 additional DLCs, so definitely not base game friendly, but it does not use any mods or custom content. So as always, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the build. Today's build is made on the Comfy Cubby lot of Newcrest and has been renamed in the gallery to Rivals Repose. I wanted to make a house that two clashing people would live in, and I thought the name fit very well. For the exterior, I went for a modern theme as I've been really liking how they've been turning out recently. Looking back on my earlier builds, it's strange to see me having such an issue with them. I liked that I went with a semi-closed concept layout on the ground floor, as later I used archways for doors and thought that looked really nice, as well as mixing in the closed concept upstairs. This build has 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, which honestly I feel adds to the whole rivals in one house vibe that I was going for. I was really proud of the exterior design for this one. The windows took quite a lot of effort to get right, but I eventually settled on the ones from high school years, which I thought looked modern but also homey. As for doors, the interior was modern as I could get it, and then I put in the archways to make the downstairs semi-open. I loved how the deep blue siding went with the black and white accents on the roofs and pillars, and I also liked putting in the flat overhangs by the front and back door, though I do swap the platforms out for mini walls later, which I thought looked more cohesive, as well as swapping out the pillar type. Finally, starting on the landscaping, I put in a lot of flower borders and shrubs because I paved over the majority of the back garden. I forgot just how much additional garden stuff there was outside of base game, so I really had to restrain myself when it came to putting things down. I did manage to restrain myself, thankfully, and I added in the classic low wall borders that I loved so much with a good mix of plants in there. I also used one of the narrow sides of the garden to plant a whole lot of lavender and stick a beehive in there later. When it came to the actual decoration of the back garden, I went again for a modern look, but didn't put a pool in this time. I used some delightful modern furniture and also placed in a fireplace for outdoor log fires. I thought it looked simple but beautiful. There's also a washing line out there, so laundry day mechanics will be active as default when you use this house, but fear not, there are laundry appliances elsewhere in the house to be used. Starting with the interior, we have the kitchen. I took that small section of wall out to create a small space for a washer and dryer. It's very common in the UK to have these in the kitchen as opposed to a separate utility room. I also chose a wonderful herringbone floor tile, as well as a beautiful half tile backsplash, which, as we all know, are my favourite things in existence. I was very happy to be able to use the Happy Chef Hustle pack, as I absolutely adore the cabinets and counters from that pack. There was no additional in the seating this time around though, as it was fairly small compared to some of the later ones I did in Willow Creek, but we do have a dining room just offset from the kitchen, so I wasn't too pressed about it. The kitchen overall I thought was just spot on for what I personally like in a kitchen, and I hope you guys like it too. Next up is the bathroom. There's a lot of deep blue in the shared communal area spaces for this house, which I'm only just realising now, so sorry if you don't like that colour. I went for a shower tub combo for the bathroom, which meant I had to edit the window, and that caused quite a bit of fuss. Luckily, you guys don't have to see that thanks to editing software existing. It's just a basic bathroom with countersinks and toilets, and I hope you guys liked it. The room for our first sim is unsurprisingly going to be pink. Hopefully during these free builds I'll loosen up a bit with my colour schemes, or what I could do is a colour wheel challenge, so that might be a nice idea. Anyways, I went for a modern but cozy vibe here. I pictured them to be a streamer who live streams their art, but is actually quite introverted off of the streams. I liked using the clutter and the decor from other packs, as it just gave the rooms so much more personality than usual, especially when it came things to like the glasses and the thermos in the desk. I really enjoyed adding those. Our second room belongs to a very, 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 very accomplished sim. I wanted to have an almost two broke girls sort of contrast between the two sims living here, but with an academic difference as well. So the sim in this very classy black and gold room is a hugely accomplished article writer who takes himself very seriously and has all these achievements, whereas the other sim is super laid back and chill, making their own career. It was definitely an interesting colour scheme for me to try, as I don't usually do black rooms, but overall I really liked how it turned out with such a dark room. And again, the additional clutter from the other kits just made the cherry on top here. As another shared space, the living room turned out to be another blue colour schemed room. I wanted it to be a classic modern style, as we have two sims with very different personalities living here, and I feel like this is the compromise they'd come to. The home decorator pack really came in clutch for this, as I could make a shelving unit to put all manner of bric-a-brac on, which best represented the personalities of the two that would be in the house. Though the room itself was just quite basic with the classic sofas, fireplace and TV, I thought overall it worked really well. For the dining room, we went for another blue room. We might as well get Bear over in here because this is the new big blue house. Again, we went for a modern classic theme. There wasn't all that much I could do with the space given, so I went for a console table and some art, as well as a few little decorations about and on the table. When it came to the hallways, we just went for some classic decor of rugs, console tables, hutches and paintings. They're so small, the longest part was genuinely choosing what painting to pick. And that's the final build. It comes in at just under 75,000 simoleons and is currently live on the gallery. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the time you will take to watch these. If you want to like and subscribe, that'd be awesome, but regardless, I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy the free cam view.